Riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. Here's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick a song or album, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here and tell you, the listener, if we hate it, and of course why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me as always, co-host extraordinaire, mutton chops to my Van Dyke, Timothy Richardson. Van Dyke, how are you doing?
Not great, Garrett. Not great at all.
Well, I could have predicted that. What's the deal, Muttons? What's going on? What's got you down?
Another 3 of our fucking interns have fallen victim to Pimp Casso and his pimping ways, and I am sick and tired of... Garrett.
Okay, listen, I want to be on board with this feud as much as you seem to be, but I need you to break it down for me. What exactly is a loss in this situation? Because you keep talking about people falling at the hands of Pimp Casso, falling in love with Pimp Casso, joining sides with Pimp. First of all, yet to meet this Pimp Casso fellow. Don't know how we got into this argument to begin with, but what does losing mean exactly?
They go over to his side. They join his
What is his
stable.
side, man?
What
What does that even mean?
I think he's pimping them out. I think they have chosen the whore life over the intern life. And here's the thing, Garrett. It's frustrating because, to be honest, after a number of interactions with the man, some violent, some not, I'm kind of starting to like him.
You can't join his side. Again, unclear what that means.
He's charming. I like his take on politics. He seems to be a good businessman, great father, snappy dresser. That name, Pimp Casso, Picasso, that's pretty goddamn clever. And listen, I've heard people on Twitter and Reddit saying it's just a Harlem street artist, but based on the experiences our interns have been having, I think that pimping is at the very least a side hustle for the man. And
okay.
The most frustrating thing about it is, right, I went over to his lair and I kicked the door open and I was shouting. I'm going to be honest with you, Garrett. I was really expecting it to be either you or me. And
No, I'm still not convinced it isn't you.
No, I guarantee you, Garrett, it is a third, totally different guy. Not either one of us. And
you know how unconvincing that sounds, right?
He is...
To both me and the listener.
I'm just going to say, Garrett, he is as quick with the cane as you are with the slap.
Oh, wow. I like this guy already.
Yeah, I know.
Sight
That's
unseen.
what I'm saying. Charming fella.
You know what? I hope it is me. That is disappointing on a number of fronts. One, that we're even involved with a man named Pimp Casso. Feel like we're better than that.
Well,
2, that we're losing to Pimp Casso.
by a lot, Garrett. We are in a pretty serious hole.
Interesting. And part 3, remains unclear what losing means.
Yes, and also if he might be one of us in some sort of fugue state.
Absolutely. Fugue state, elaborate hoax, unclear in either event, Tim. Pimp Casso aside. Can't believe I had to say that.
I was pretty sure it was eventually going to come to this.
I guess we'll keep everyone updated, unfortunately. Before we move off it, and I want to, are the interns, like, once they, and again, hate using this terminology, join his side, do they still do their internally duties, or are they just gone?
That's the problem. I mean, they come here to sleep, but they're sleeping mostly during the day now, and they're out at all hours at night.
No. This will not do. Okay. I guess, Gino, get the riot gear. Tim and I are going to do some house cleaning after the recording. Yeah, we got it. I don't want any of those whores sleeping in our house. And that's not a statement on the profession. That's just betrayal.
Yeah, plus we have a really nice house.
Sure, we have a disproportionately expensive home for the lifestyle we lead.
That is a diplomatic and fair way of saying that.
Fantastic. Tim, what song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the 1970 debut single In the Summertime by Mungo Jerry, which is a song that I feel like Pimp Casso would be into.
Gotta move on from Pimp Casso. And Tim, after an entire 2 weeks with Mungo Jerry and his hit In the Summertime, do you hate this song?
Ooh, Garrett, what a good question you are. No, I don't. For better or worse, Garrett, this thing, I will say this. I hate how catchy this is, right? Because I have not thought about a single other thing for the past two. Well, that's not true. I was going to say I haven't thought of a single other thing for the past 2 weeks, but really the point is I haven't thought about anything not in the cadence of this song in the past 2 weeks, because I have just been walking around singing, I'm at Key Foods where my groceries live. I got hummus and some pita bread with the money from Garrett's wallet. And I'm going fucking insane, Garrett. This goddamn song, it won't leave me alone. I'm slightly scared that it is alive and that it is torturing me.
Interesting. Sort of maybe like an audible Ring situation. 7 days.
Yeah.
So we're talking about maybe more like an audible Babadook.
I mean, it feels Babadooky.
Interesting. I think you just want to say Babadooky. It feels more Ring-esque.
Yeah.
Like you're being haunted by a song.
Yeah. I mean, Garrett, do you hate this?
Do I hate it? Oh my, no.
Hold on, follow-up question. Do you think it shits hot snakes?
God, I think it might.
It's close, right? Even though
it's really close.
Garrett, I found myself, I woke up, I was listening to the song this morning. I woke up 2 hours later. I was just chewing on the leg of a couch, and this song was just playing over and over and over again. I have no memory of what I was doing. I still kind of like it.
God, you might be some sort of Manchurian candidate and or Winter Soldier.
I've heard that a lot. But turns out I don't really have any skills. Everyone always just points me at people and says, don't worry, you'll know what to do when the time comes. And then again, I just get slapped by a pimp and then beaten down by his cane.
Yikes. Yeah, this song has hypnotic powers. It is...
It sure does.
Really catchy. My God, it's catchy. And frankly, I wanted to do this song for 3 reasons. 1, Mungo Jerry, hell of a name. 2, Mungo Jerry, hell of a face. 3, it's a really catchy song that has some fairly upsetting lyrics.
That's true.
So we had to talk about it here on the show. So you don't hate it. I don't hate it. It may shit hot snakes. It may. God, we'll get into it. But before we do, I'm curious, Tim, prior to this week, how familiar were you with Mungo and his summertime hit?
It's very strange because I know for a fact I've heard this song on the radio dozens, if not hundreds of times, and somehow did not become obsessed with it before this week. Now, I had no idea what a Mungo Jerry was. I had no idea somebody's sideburns could do what this man's sideburns do. I had no idea that a man in the midst of a werewolf transformation could sing such lovely tunes because I knew absolutely nothing about this other than that infectious rhythm, and yet somehow, until this week, it did not burrow into my skull. And Garrett, I do mean infectious quite literally because this song this week gave me COVID and a touch of the clap.
I think you've been some of the interns.
I'm going to have to bleep at least some of that. What about you, Garrett? Did this song infect any of your orifices this week?
No, luckily they remain squeaky clean, but I will say I didn't know what a Mungo Jerry was, and when it came on my audio listening device, I was like, man, this is a really fun song. Wait, what did he just say about women? And then I looked at my phone to take a screenshot, so I remembered to put it into the ball hopper, the Selectomatic, as we call it around here. And I was like, whoa, what's a Mungo Jerry? Whoa, what's going on with that guy's face? He's 23% into a wolf transformation. We'll talk about it.
And he's owning it.
Yeah, that's his look. He froze it there. He's got Bell's palsy. He's a Bell's palsy werewolf. Caught him at 23% of the way there. Just not quite human. Anyway, we'll talk about his physical appearance at length in a minute. Before we do, I gotta understand, Tim, that's your history, that's my history. That is to say, we have the same history as every person listening to this episode right now. Oh yeah, I've heard this song before, maybe in a movie or a commercial or a what have you. But nobody's ever really listened to the lyrics, and I have theories behind that. We'll get into it, of course. Before we do, though, take me on a journey, help the listener understand who is Mungo Jerry and how did In the Summertime come to be?
Well, Garrett, Mungo Jerry is mostly Raymond Edward Dorset, a guy who is British, although that was unclear to me, and a guy that was born in 1946 in Ashford, Middlesex, England, a town that you will probably know best as the hometown of Sarah Webb, Olympic gold medal sailist, one of your favorites.
I love competitive sailing.
Yes, you do. Any schmoozlebees, the young Ray went to a weird like those weird British schools and took those weird British qualification tests, whatever. It's not very interesting. They all sound very fancy, though. And then he formed the Blue Moon Skiffle Group. He left school without qualifications, whatever that means, and worked as an apprentice hairdresser. Near dawn, on a morning following a full moon in 1967, Garrett, he was bitten by a werewolf that was actively turning back into a man. And as we all know, that has a much lower potency than the bite of a fully transformed wolf. And
That's
so
what's happening.
Ray was cursed forever to walk the earth as a half-transformed wolfman.
Oh, I think half is maybe a colloquialism, but like I want to put a percentage to it, and I think that percentage is 11.
No, I think 23%. I think you nailed it earlier.
Thank you.
Since his new look was completely incompatible with working in the beauty industry, he, and I'm quoting here, studied for a city and guilds qualification at Twickenham College of Technology. I don't know what any of those words mean. From there, he worked for a bunch of like radio equipment places, whilst also doing dangerous research on how to change himself back into a normal man, a la the Incredible Hulk, or failing that, to develop a metal alloy that would be able to cut through his hair, allowing him to shave. Diamond razor blades being too expensive.
Right. At the time.
Yes.
This is long before cubic zirconia was invented.
He formed the group Good Earth in 1968 while working in a laboratory for Timex doing experiments on time, I guess. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I think making watches, not experiments on time. We here at Timex maintain the global world time. Wait, what do you guys do?
I assume he was like a character from Primer, some sort of weird engineer that's doing some nonsense. I don't know.
Listen, is there a possibility Mungo Jerry is actually a Neanderthal or Neanderthal that has been transported to our time? Well, not our time, 1968, gussied up a la Encino Man and passed off as a human being, making us all curiously pause in a moment and just go, how do you have, why is your face, there seems to be some cognitive dissonance with your face.
Yes, there does. Now, Garrett, while he was working in that laboratory for Timex, he formed this group, Good Earth. And Good Earth had an evolving sound. They were more rock at first, but the drummist and basser left, so he replaced both of them with a washboard player, and it started to have the more acoustic and skiffly sound that you know and love, and they eventually became Mungo Jerry. Now, the name Mungo Jerry was derived from the cat's name in the poem Mungo Jerry or Rumpelteazer from T.S. Eliot's Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, a collection of poems about feline psychology and sociology, the inspiration, of course, for the 1981 Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, which in turn was the inspiration for Taylor Swift's greatest work. Incidentally, that means that the name of this band did not have to be Mungo Jerry. It could have just as easily been Old Deuteronomy, Mistopheles, Skimbleshanks, Rumpelteazer, Jellicles, Rum Tum Tugger, or, and this is my favorite, Macavity, the Mystery Cat.
Rum Tum Tugger.
And yes, again, for those of you who follow my unaffiliated blog on the life and work of T.S. Eliot, this is the same man who won the 1948 Nobel Prize in Literature. This is the same man who renounced his American citizenship to become a fancy British man. This is the same man who wrote The Wasteland, the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, and Hollow Man, This Is the Way the World Ends, not with a bang, but with James goddamn Corden. How is he the Cats guy, is my question.
Hashtag release the butthole cut.
Interesting. That's probably enough about T.S. Eliot, Garrett. According to legend, Raymond took a 10-minute break from the Timex lab to compose the Song of the Week in the summertime. And then Mungo Jerry kind of got a big break with the Hollywood Music Festival, which of course was in England, alongside the Grateful Dead, Traffic, and Black Sabbath in 1970. Ray had to take some time off from Timex to perform on Top of the Pops, which I assume his boss thought was a bullshit excuse. People were initially really into these guys, Garrett. Now, of course, you know why. It's super infectious. Particularly in Old Britannia, as it was known at the time, there was a brief phenomenon there called Mungomania. You've heard of Beatlemania, right?
Right.
Same thing, but with Mungo goddamn Jerry.
That sounds wrong.
It's right. They toured the U.S. They had one of their songs Have a Whiff on Me banned because people thought it was about cocaine. Ray released a solo album, Cold Blue Excursion, that had lots of strings and horns and a jazz section on it. He tried to change the sound of the band. He wanted to go back to more of a rock thing, mostly by getting a drummer in the band. Now, this pissed off all the non-Ray members quite a bit because they liked the, summertime feel or whatever. So they tried to kick Ray out. Now, management caught wind of the coup attempt, and Ray fired the rest of the band members and hired new members that would be loyal to him. I think Saddam Hussein did something very similar once.
Yeah, but the common denominator is they both have distinctive looks.
Absolutely.
You can't get rid of the guy that has the distinctive look.
That's true. They continued releasing music and touring throughout the 70s. They had a few other hits, including All Right, All Right, All Right in 1976. They had more lineup changes. They were somehow the first band to have live TV shows or live TV appearances in every country or territory or whatever of the then USSR. In 1983, Ray was in a supergroup called Kathmandu with Peter Green of Fleetwood Mac fame and some other guy I did not recognize. They released one album and then stopped doing that. The same year, 1983, Garrett, his sideburns were acquitted in a triple murder trial on London's East Side. So legally they're innocent, but I'm pretty sure they smothered those women.
Coincidentally, I guess not coincidentally, shockingly, Mungo testified against his own sideburns.
Mungo testified against Jerry. The left sideburn testified against the right.
Shocking.
At some point in here, Ray became a Freemason at Chelsea Lodge number 3098. And I think that's fucking crazy because, again, we're going to talk way more about what this guy looks like. I haven't even gotten into it. But it is just so insane to me to look at a cover of this album, to look at a photo of this man's face in 1970 and know that this guy, of all people, knows who did 9/11. Like, that's insane to me.
I think you're giving the Freemasons a great deal of power they may or may not possess.
Oh, I'm not saying they did it. I'm saying they know who did it.
I think we know who did it.
Disagree. He also released a reggae cover of Knockin' on Heaven's Door, which was not one of the Knockin' on Heaven's Door versions that was banned by that Clear Channel memorandum after 9/11 because nobody has ever heard it.
How do you always manage to weave so much 9/11 into this show?
It's relevant constantly. Garrett, in 2012, he sued his management company for £2 million in royalties from the song All Right, All Right, All Right. During the court proceedings, he assured the judge that he did not, I repeat, did not harass his manager with an anti-Semitic music video called Nail That Snail. Apparently, Garrett, his Jewish manager's head was superimposed on a Nazi uniform with Ray's music playing over it, and he had nothing at all to do with this. This was a different guy. The management company said...
That was Mungo Jerry.
Absolutely. They said it was true that Ray denied any links to the video, but, and I'm quoting here, that ignores the fact that he was singing, and the DVD, which shows Mr. Cohen in Nazi uniform, was on his official website. His protestations of innocence ring very hollow. Allegedly, probably, but that court case ended with him being ordered to pay the management company £33,000 instead of the $2 million that he wanted, finding that he had misrepresented his ownership rights to the song.
I missed the date at first, so when you said the word DVD, the 1977 complaint that I was picturing was wildly reframed.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
In 2016, maybe 2017, Ray announced that he had IBS, aka Irritable Bowel Syndrome, aka Garrett's Dilemma, for 45 years.
It's the perfect name! Because, listen, I can ignore it. I have been. And I can live a sort of normal life. But it hurts so much. And the responsibility it requires to both address situationally as well as nutritionally would just be a crazy amount of effort. Whereas my route is to eat whatever the fuck I want and IBS be damned and suffer the consequences, damn the torpedoes. And there are torpedoes.
In your defense, or maybe my offense, I don't really know, we're all suffering the consequences, Garrett. Also, I suspect you might be lactose intolerant.
Oh, we all are.
Not as much as you, friend. Anyway, Garrett, he announced that he had IBS for 45 years and blamed the rock and roll lifestyle that happened with the success of In the Summertime. So perhaps you are just simply too successful.
Interesting. Also, don't announce you have IBS. Just keep that to yourself.
That's true. In 2021, teams of doctors from around the world discovered a cure for his half-hearted werewolfism, which involved open heart surgery, and his sideburns, sadly, were lost. He would claim that managing the sideburns in the hospital for open heart surgery simply required too much attention, so he just got rid of them. But he did finally credit them at that stage for having written the music but not the words of In the Summertime.
Sorry, Mr. Jerry, we've made a terrible mistake. It turns out the person in the bed next to you was here for a sideburnectomy. Well, we mixed up the charts. I'm so sorry. I need heart surgery immediately. Oh, God, right. You know what? I almost forgot. Nurse.
Oh, but Garrett, all in all, I'm going to give you some incredible statistics here. Ray has been the only member of Mungo Jerry from its inception to the current day, which is a period of 55 years. This band has existed for 55 years. In that time frame, there were 29 other members of this band at various points.
Oh my goodness.
So, listen, I don't know Ray, I don't know Mungo Jerry, but I'm going to assume he's difficult to work with.
It would sound like you are the problem, Ray.
Yes. For a one-hit wonder, though, the Mungs have definitely released a ton of music, Garrett. They have released 58 singles. They have released 19 studio albums, the most recent of which, Some Light, was released in 2022. They have a live album. They have 16 compilation albums, and that's not counting the solo work or the supergroup stuff. And without getting into how this did specifically yet, I want to talk about how the rest of this work didn't do.
I'm going to guess not so good.
They have a few semi-hits, like with singles in the UK and some scattered European countries. They have some scattered hits. But this was their only song to ever chart in the US. Out of the 58 singles they released, this is the only one. Their first album was the only one to ever chart in the US, so 18 didn't. And their first and second were the only two chart anywhere that I could find.
Wow.
So he just kept making this for 55 years, even though he did not have a legitimate hit past year one.
I mean, we've never had a hit and we keep doing this.
That's true, but I mean, Garrett, that would put us in, I don't know, I can't really do math. We'll say 2080 at that point.
I think later.
Maybe. We're not going to do the math. We're not going to do. The point is, Garrett, we got to quit before 2080, right?
Yeah, we'll be dead. We'll be dead. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be dead long before that.
My God.
No, I'm just saying.
I know. Is that supposed to make you feel better?
Yes.
Anyway, you done?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. LaFace. I apologize.
And a Mungo Jerry to you. Good stuff, Tim. What a weird, uneventful history.
So eventful. So many werewolf attacks and surgeries to remove werewolfism.
I watched like a 22-minute video of him explaining exactly how to play this on the guitar. What a lovely human being.
Oh, yeah. He's delightful. He's delightful. Not if you're in a band with him. If you're one of those 29 poor bastards. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, real monster. But otherwise, especially if you're just gathering information for a podcast, he'll talk to you all day.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, before we can really get into our general thoughts and the lyrics, let's give everybody a little taste. Just a reminder in case you're in the car, can't turn it on. Here it is, Mungo Jerry's In the Summertime.
In the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky.
I'm so sorry for the rest of you, or for everyone that just heard that and will never, ever forget it.
Yeah, it's in there. It's like one of those naturally occurring numbers in nature.
Yeah, like a golden ratio kind of thing.
Thank you. Yes, it's like the golden ratio, one of those golden ratio things where like universally, this rhythm just speaks to everybody.
Yep.
I'm happy. Maybe not like Zod. I could see him being like, nah, I don't care for it.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Shannon, I could see this would make... Because we've talked about this in the show. That guy's in an REM cover band and insists on...
I'm dying to see them.
Yeah. But yeah, I could see him being too aloof for this. I could see him trying to strangle Mungo and the sideburns just shattering his Zoddy wrists.
Oh, yeah. We're just consuming him.
We should, okay. Before we talk about the music, Garrett, we should, for the second to last time, because I suspect we're going to do this when we hit the music video again, let's discuss what this man looks like for those of you who have not seen it.
And it's worth a Google.
He looks to me like if Marvel hired Andre the Giant to be our next Wolverine.
Oh, that's a good description. I like that quite a bit.
But I think the best description of him, though, is he looks exactly how a Mungo Jerry should look. Like, if you were a police sketch artist and all you had to go on was the name Mungo Jerry, I think you'd get pretty close. Now, you would not get close if your only clue was Raymond Edward Dorset, though.
No, that's a made-up name. This guy's Mungo Jerry in my mind.
Absolutely. And listen, it is so, like, his sideburns, his mutton chops, Garrett, the chops are so goddamn impressive. It's like, you know when you're walking like the dogs, and they come across like a smaller dog or a lady dog or like a less confident dog. Like a lot of times that dog will do that thing where they just lay down on their belly and submissively wait for the dog to come on. Right. Now, Garrett, I want to be clear. I respect your beard. I love your beard. You know that.
Yeah,
I think
too much even.
Yes. Now, it would probably be an overstatement to say that I'm in love with your beard. I don't think anyone could convincingly say that I'm in love with it, but I do love your beard.
Sure, and I'm glad that you've made that distinction. It makes me happy. You might have just made my Tuesday.
Right. If you came across him in his 70s heyday, I believe your beard would get down on its belly submissively and await his chops to approach.
Today's beard, yes. My beard at its glorious.
No, Garrett. At his mutton choppiest.
Oof, I don't know that it would lie down in submission. It might perhaps salute.
I think it...
Or follow his chops into battle?
It might drag you onto your belly.
I'd like to think better of my beard, but I'm not sure. I feel like seeing it in real life is a whole different thing. So I can't say for certain. You might be 100% right.
I think, Garrett, it has texture in photos. Like, if you've, listen, this is going to sound weird, but if you print out a photo or even look at a computer screen of it, if you rub your finger over where his chops are, you can feel the hair.
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is true. I'm not going to debate that. So real life's got to be just unbelievable. You're probably right. I would probably be mercilessly dragged to the ground in submission to his glorious, glorious chops. Remember when I used to rock some pretty ridiculous sideburns in college?
I do.
Yeah, those were something. I carried those forward for quite a while.
Longer than you should have, based on current trends.
Yeah, based on any trends. Yeah, I don't know what
No, but that was a thing, like back in the early to mid 2000s, like the sideburns were like a big thing. Now, I can't grow them, of course, so it wasn't even an option for me.
No. Your hair just...
It's unclear what it's doing.
It's just... It's just so generic. You look like the starting face for a Wiimoji.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing. It's not to be insulting. It's just like nothing distinct.
Have you've seen Toy Story, I'm assuming. Everyone's seen Toy Story.
Yes.
It's a wonderful film. I think I have the same hair as the bully kid, the Spike.
Yes.
It's kind of, I mean, again, it's a very Bobby Hill-ish thing, but I think the spike is a little bit better because it sticks straight out. Like, unless I've worn a hat. If I wear a hat, lays down, looks a little bit more like people hair, but otherwise, it's straight out.
Yeah, it's like you constantly are like rubbing a balloon and putting it above your head. It's just out in all directions, like a chip.
Perhaps I'm electric. Is that what you're saying? Is that what we're saying?
No. We can't keep talking about your hair. Is there anything else need to be said before we get into the song itself? And frankly, there's not much to it.
No. I mean, I think music-wise, like, it's definitely pop. I get the kind of skiffle influence. I don't necessarily... Sure. I mean, we should mention... There's a very prominent jug player throughout this.
Yes.
And weirdly, I didn't notice it. We'll get into it more in the music video, but I didn't really notice it until I watched the music video exactly how prominent it is.
Right.
And it's weird because the guy's not really good at playing it.
Terrible.
It sounds like every once in a while there's just a quiet little fart.
Yeah. It's pretty much throughout the entire song once you realize it. And then you're like, oh.
It's like once every 2 bars, somebody just leans in and goes...
Yeah, it's really off-putting.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pop. You can kind of feel like it's very acoustic, it's very stripped down, but you can kind of tell it's anticipating sort of the disco beats.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's just so catchy, but it is borderline, not country, but almost borderline folk
Yeah, I think the skiffle is a pretty good.
Yeah.
But the other thing I did not realize until I watched the music video is just how piano focused it is. Like, if you'd asked me to describe it, I wouldn't have said that it was piano driven, but it definitely is.
Yeah, that's the main instrument.
Yeah.
Minus, obviously, the excessive beatboxing?
Yeah, God.
I don't know what to call it.
This might have invented a series of musical styles.
I mean, that's what he claims. If you talk to him, he's like, I was the first one to ever do that. Like, you might have been.
Yeah. Well, again, no. His chops wrote the music.
That's true. That's true. He's just the vessel. Okay, let's get into it. It opens with the very classic over and over again, which immediately, I spent way too much time researching this song because if you look online, it says that on this song there is a kabasa. Kabasa is like those little metal beads wrapped around a cylinder that you shake back and forth with a handle and would very much give you a noise. But also, I know for a fact that it is Mungo Jerry going
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they just juice it. I never figured it out.
Yeah,
but
and
is
it
a
kind of
human
has
being.
a washboard sound in there as well.
I agree. Could be that too. Don't know. But more or less, we open up with that, and it sets the rhythm, and quite frankly, it's catchy as all get out.
Yeah.
Then we get to the actual words, and I'm going to resist the urge to sing it, but goddamn, I want to.
Don't. If the spirit leads you, go with it.
No, I won't do that.
In the
summertime,
when the weather is... Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, in the summertime, when the weather is high, you can stretch right up and touch the sky. When the weather's fine, you got women on your mind. And let's pause there.
God, it's catchy. I like your Chuck Mangione version of it. It's like the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just wasting your time now.
Welcome to hour 2 of the podcast, the mouth bugle portion.
Yeah, but listen, this is a feel-good time, right? It's summer, everything's looking good, the sky's blue, you're horny, summer.
Yeah, warm weather brings out the summer wear, little skin. It does put women on your mind, that's for sure.
Yeah, you walk around with that great big old boner, I get it.
Okay.
I mean, listen,
Your
Mungo.
words, not mine. Right, oh yeah, for sure, that's what he's saying. Song continues, have a drink, have a drive, go out and see what you can find. And reminder, it's 1970.
That's right. It's amazing because this is completely accurate. If you want, there's a scene now that looks really unrealistic in, I think it's Carrie. It's John Travolta. He's driving around, he's drinking beers as he's going about, and cops pull up next to him and he's like, oh shit, and he puts it down and they just kind of look at him and he pretends to hide it and they just kind of shake their heads with some sort of boys will be boys. But that's
right.
100% the case, right? Everyone was driving around in 4,000 pound steel tanks. And it was a terrifying time.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you wrapped yourself around a tree, that was learning the hard way.
Yeah.
God. Better time, Tim. Can't go back, though.
Yes.
Song continues. If her daddy's rich, take her out for a meal. If her daddy's poor, just do what you feel.
And stop. Listen, the best possible reading is if her daddy's rich, she's gonna expect a lot of stuff, like a meal. But if her daddy's poor, listen, just go have a fun day, go for a walk in the park, take her to the beach, etc. It's really low expectations, but that's the best. Because if it's not that, if it's anything but that, this song may as well be saying, if her daddy's rich, she might act like a bitch. If her daddy's poor, you can treat her like a whore.
Ooh, I like your version.
If her daddy's rich, take her out for a date. If her daddy's poor, you can...
That's a pretty good one, man. Yeah, I've got a version. I've got some interpretations.
Sure. If her daddy's rich, take her out for a date. If her daddy's poor, just go ahead and date rape. That's another one.
Then have you a rape. Too many syllables in your version. Just take out that date. So here's my version. So best case, if she's rich, then it's worth taking her out for a meal. That way you can kind of scam her and get her father's money when he's dead.
Oh, I like that.
And if she's poor, then hey, Just follow your heart. Do what feels natural.
Yeah, and if that's a date rape, Mungo's
Who
okay.
needs all that date business?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, it's a listen, they still went and walked on the beach. But anyway,
Now,
the point is, Mungo's giving you a thumbs up.
That was my best case scenario. Now, worst case scenario. Rich girls get dinner. Poor girls get Mungo.
Oh, God.
Or perhaps mungoed. You just got mungoed.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's not great. You're going to need a shower.
Either way, good or bad, it's a bit classist from this failed hairdresser.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Speed along the lane. Do a ton or a ton 25. I think that's a car, maybe?
No, I think he's saying drive 100 or 125 miles an hour.
Oh, a ton is 100?
I believe so. In the parlance of 1970, yes.
Okay, but not in the, it doesn't matter. Speed along the lane, do a ton or a ton 25. When the sun goes down, you can make it good in a lay-by.
And of course, a lay-by is a place to park where you...
It's like a rest stop.
Yeah, make love to or assault a lady.
It sounds like a truck driver who's just picked up with Lizzie, taking her a quick jaunt down the road, either to a rest stop or maybe a cabin or hotel he's set up.
I think the lay-by, it's kind of one of those, like, the places, you see in, like, 50s bullshit, like, oh, we went up and parked on the cliffs that overlook the town or something like that.
Yeah, like make out point.
Yes, like make out point.
I gotcha. So take your lady down the lane, do 100 or 125, wait till the sun goes down and make it good in a lay-by.
Yeah.
You want to know why they call me Mungo? No.
Terrible.
Oh, no. I'm sorry, madam. It's a full moon. What you're about to witness is truly horrifying. I'm going to become, well, not more animal than man, just about 23% less man.
Yes, but also 23% less hairy. I am very hairy.
He's the first werewolf in history that gets less hairy when he goes from man to wolf. Ew, it's going inside.
Gross. We're not gray people. We're not dirty. We're not mean. We love everybody, but we do as we please. I assume gray people are the olds?
Yeah, or aliens?
Maybe. I assume the olds, though. But we love everybody, but we do as we please. It's the but that really catches me, because why but? That implies that to do as one pleases is at direct odds with loving your fellow man. Listen,
Yeah.
I love everyone, but sometimes I transform and I eat a man's liver.
God.
Tear him open and I eat his entrails.
I think they're travelers. They sound like me.
Okay, we're going to have to bleep that.
I think so.
Yeah, no, oh, dear.
But they do sound like travelers. Hey, look, we're not weirdos. We're not dirty or mean. We love everybody. Just, sometimes we're going to punch your grandmother and take her pocketbook.
Yeah, as one does.
We got to eat. When the weather's fine, we go fishing, we go swimming in the sea. We're always happy. Life's for living. Yeah, that's our philosophy.
Yeah, it does sound like travelers.
Fishing on golf course ponds, taking baths in fountains. Classic travelers.
Yeah.
Filthy. Then we get a lot of nonsense and jugs. Dee 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 da 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 da. Yeah, we're happy da 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 dee da da doo dee da da doo dee da, etc. etc. That's more or less it, right?
That's absolutely it.
Okay, great.
Then we get when the winter's here. Yeah, it's party time.
Hold on.
Sorry.
I almost missed the best part of the song. After all of the da 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 doo doo dee doo da 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 all that business, he says all right, and if you listen closely, for some reason there's a bunch of Mac karate noises. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's incredible. It's right in the middle of the song, and you know it's the middle because they literally loop the whole song in a minute.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Anyway, go ahead.
Then we go to verse 5. When the winter's here, yeah, it's party time. Bring your bottle, wear your bright clothes. It'll soon be summertime. And we'll sing again, we'll go driving, or maybe we'll settle down. If she's rich, if she's nice, bring your friends and we'll all go into town. Listen, we'll settle down. If she's rich, if she's nice, that's fine. Otherwise, used and left right at that truck stop.
So, oh my. This is where the entire story changed for me, and I got clarity into what this really truly does feel like it's about. I believe this entire song is sung from the perspectives of townies. For us here in the US, let's picture like a ski town in Colorado that in the winter obviously has skiing, but in the summer there's like mountain biking and hiking and all that bullshit that you and I enjoy doing. But this is all from the perspective of those townies saying, when the winter's here, yeah, it's party time. Bring your bottle, wear your bright clothes. It'll soon be summertime and we'll sing again. They're always partying. Either they're doing whitewater rafting tours or they're doing ski lessons for tots. Either way, they're partying every night. Sure, all the time. And they're picking up, Tim, these little snow bunnies that come up in the summer with daddy's money. And if she's rich, if she's nice, then you can bring her to the bar and we'll actually enjoy being around her. But if she sucks, like, hey, do what you want to do in your off time, but like, don't bring her to the towny place, okay? If she's a piece of shit. But if you actually got a chance of getting out of this garbage town, if you can marry her, yeah, bring her around.
Yeah, fair enough. And then we have motorcycle noises.
Yeah, which are actually car noises because they couldn't find a motorcycle. And so one of the engineers got it, or maybe it was the band member, got his Triumph car, which I didn't even know Triumph made cars. Only ever seen a Triumph motorcycle. Anyway, they had him literally drive by the studio with a microphone hanging out, which is why you get the stereo sound going from right to left.
Yeah.
Then we get the chorus again, which is just the cha-cha-chas, and then the entire song, and this is true, literally repeats because, according to Mr. Jerry, we didn't have any more verses.
Which is weird, because they have 5 verses. Like, that should be enough for a song.
Yeah, I think they just needed a bridge and a chorus, and they could have been there, but whatever.
Well, their chorus is the cha-cha-chas, so didn't put much.
True. No, I mean a bridge, and then just do the chorus again. Mm-hmm. They basically just needed a bridge.
Yeah, fair enough.
In the summertime when the weather is hot. God, it's good. Anyway, that brings us to the music video. That's right, it's 1970, and there is a music video. Yep. There's not a ton to it.
159 million views, Garrett.
Maybe that's why there's a music video. How fortuitous for him. How much money does 159 million views get you in passive income? It's not nothing.
I don't know. We'll never know.
No, we will never know. Still waiting to get to that first million. Anyway, for some reason they made a music video in 1970 when no one was doing it, and there's a reason. Because they're not very good at it. It's a stark white studio. The entire band is there. Jerry is wearing a mesh top. Looks amazing. Just a black mesh tank with a bright pink scarf or handkerchief. I don't know which.
Now, let me ask you this, because you've seen his head. Were you surprised that his chest was less hairy?
Yeah, I was expecting it to be all hair.
Yeah,
more hair than chest.
I was expecting to learn via the internet that it was a black mesh shirt, whereas I just thought it was a black shirt because his disgusting, filthy hair filled in the gaps.
Yeah, I assumed so much hair that light could not escape it. But that was not the case. Very surprising. Let's see here. What do we have here? It looks, I'm not kidding when I say this. Go Google this music video. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but just watch it for like...
because it's so catchy.
So strange. If you didn't know better, didn't know this was a real song, and you watched it on mute, it looks like a Christopher Guest movie or at best an Anchorman sketch.
Yeah.
They're all dressed so ridiculously, you're waiting for them to cut to Paul Rudd with a silly mustache and a dumb smile on his face.
Yeah.
He might be in there.
If you do watch the music video, be sure to watch with YouTube's closed captioning thing on, because, like the automated subtitles, because the computer that wrote this is drunk. It's just talking about having a vagina and all sorts of weird nonsense. It does a terrible job at interpreting what Mungo Jerry is saying.
Yeah, it literally says, have a drink, a vagina, go out and see what you can find.
Yeah.
Back to the music video.
Yes, we get a lot of close-ups of them tapping their feet. The camera just sort of pans from left to right and back again, kind of showing them. There's a lot of really tight close-ups of his face, a lot of which he's singing, but they don't bother to put frame his mouth in the frame. So,
it's weird.
Yeah, it's very odd.
I mean, it's not his best asset.
No, of course not. They should just zoom straight into those mutton chops. The motorcycle, or as you correctly said, the car breakdown, the video, the way they film it, the video seems to try to imply that the jug blower guy is making that noise. We know he's not.
It's the best part. Yeah, there's a dude just working a jug, though.
Yeah, well, sort of. He's the guitar player, and he just keeps leaning over to blow in a jug. And again, you won't notice it if you just listen to the song. I mean, maybe you will, but I didn't really notice it. But they keep drawing attention to it in the video, and it really sounds like somebody's just in the corner of the studio just softly farting.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, and this guy kind of looks like George Harrison. I guess everyone did in the 70s, though, so that's not fair.
Yeah. It was a thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. Like, go watch it just to take it all in. That's the masterful way to really take in the look, the sound, enjoy the song. It's a fun song. It's just confounding. And get those closed captions on, because it fails in so many spectacular and unpredictable ways.
Yeah.
And never the same way twice.
That's true. It is not
weird.
Consistent.
Wildly inconsistent. Okay. Tim, how'd this thing do?
This did pretty well, Garrett. This sold more than 30 million copies worldwide. It is the best-selling single of all time by a British band, and I believe that it is the third best-selling single, not of any specific year, Garrett, of all time, right?
What?
Bing Crosby's White Christmas sold 50 million. Elton John's Candle in the Wind / something else, the 97 thing after Princess Diana died, that sold 33 million copies. This sold 30 million copies. This sold twice as million copies as You're the One That I Want by John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. This makes that Mariah Carey Christmas song look like dog shit. Garrett.
Garbage.
We Are the World, I Want to Hold Your Hand, ABBA, Elvis, Britney, My Sharona, go fuck yourself, each and every one of you. This is the third best-selling single of all time.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
Sure doesn't. It was a #1 single in Australia, in Austria, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Ireland, Italy, Mexico, New Zealand, Norway, South Africa, Sweden, Switzerland, the UK, West Germany, and the goddamn Dutch, but somehow only hit #3 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this sounds so utterly American.
It does. I was shocked to find out he was British.
How fucking confusing is that?
Yeah.
Also, no wonder that guy's so pleasant. He's a gajillionaire.
Probably. But
That's
here's
a
the thing.
lot of albums.
That means that the next 18 albums that he produced, the next 57 singles, the next 16 plus compilation albums, that live album, all of that was for the love of the game. He wasn't making any money beyond this song. He basically made no more money. And it didn't fucking matter. He just loves doing it. He's a hero, Garrett.
Yeah, he is. A very wealthy hero. Okay, what do people think of it?
Well, there are 101 total ratings on Amazon, 85% 5-star, 0% 1-star. Victor S. from September 2011 titled his review, I Hate Rock.
Oh.
Yes, I do hate rock. Well, I like some moody songs like this one, however. They help me remember the time when air was clean and sex was dirty. Best 99 cents spent over the last year, 5 out of 5 stars.
What are they into?
They're into clean air and dirty sex, Garrett. I mean, that's not true. This does have a mood, but it is not that mood.
It's carefree and joyous.
It's almost the opposite of that mood.
Also, I don't know what they're yearning for. What era was that? Also, sex remains dirty.
It is so dirty. Don't do it, guys. It's...
Don't fall victim.
One more from Amazon here. This is from Pierce Girl from 2012. Love the song. Hate the cover picture. Every time it comes up on my iPod, I hope my husband isn't looking down at the picture of the album that comes up. 2 out of 5 stars. Now, I got interested in this because this is somebody, I'm not sure if she's embarrassed of it or if she's worried that her husband's going to be like, Jesus Christ, she's going to cheat on me with Mungo Jerry again.
It sounds like that. That's what it sounds like.
So I did a little investigation, Garrett.
What does that mean?
Her only other Amazon review is from the exact same day as this. I'll tell you, it's a 5-star review for a self-help marriage CD.
No, shut the fuck
In which she writes, we really love... It's from Lund something, it doesn't really matter. We really loved it. Lund has great insights and practical suggestions. Plus, he's just hilarious, smiley face. Only marriage set my husband has been able to make it through, and after we finished, he started referring it to all our friends. For my husband, that's a huge compliment. Highly advise this C-D set.
Hold on. Oh my God. Fuck Mungo Jerry and the rest of our format. It's just about this now. Okay, so We know that there are relationships on the rocks already. We also know there have been multiple attempts to get the ship right. The tool they have found is a collection of audio CDs to improve your marriage.
Yes, and one of the problems with their marriage is that her husband keeps seeing her with this man, or this man keeps popping up in some way.
Do we have any idea what her name is?
No.
All right, well, we'll assume it's Barbara.
It's just Pierce Girl. I don't know.
Pierce Girl. Okay, it's probably something a little more hip, like Janie. God damn it, Janie! Is that fucking Mungo Jerry on your phone? Is he calling you again? It's an MP3. Carl, I don't think I'm just listening to the song. It's a mix. I don't control it. God damn it. Get the CDs. We need the CDs. God, Barbara.
Damn it, you whore. You're doing this again.
Staring at his picture, flicking your b*** into his
Okay, we're
beautiful
gonna have to
mutton
bleep
chops.
some of that.
Don't you dare.
Goodness.
Speak your truth.
Goodness.
You fucking disgust me. Get the audio CDs. Okay, so we have to assume that she was the victim of family annihilation, right? Same day, right? Same day. We got those two. We got those two reviews. She was murdered. Hopefully there were no children in the picture. He killed himself.
And then nothing else from Pierce Girl ever.
Ever again. Sorry,
Pierce Girl,
Jamie.
if you're out there, write in.
Yeah, let us know. HeyPodMail@gmail.com. Were you annihilated by your husband?
Did you buy your husband some sort of Halloween-esque mutton chops to wear during sex?
What if that's him building the bridge? He
love
gets
it.
some glue-on mutton chops
Okay,
and like a
because
big afro.
Here's the thing. She's clearly not into him, right? So, but he keeps seeing it pop up, so he just assumes that she is. Like, she's listening to this because she finds him sexy. And so he keeps trying to make these attempts to look more like Mungo Jerry.
Oh,
and
no.
she's like, listen, I just think it's a catchy song. I love this song. I'm not into him at all. And he's just like, no, man, I got it. Thicker. You want thicker mutton chops. I got it.
Listen, I've got an appointment on Wednesday to go to the dentist and have gaps chiseled in between every one of my teeth.
Oh, this poor man.
They said it's going to be tremendously painful.
The amount of ugly on this man's face. And I love Mungo Jerry. I love Ray. I think he's a great man. I think he made a great song. He's like all the Rolling Stones crammed into one guy. It's horrific.
It is a walking advertisement for a broader gene pool. Sorry, Ray. We love you, and we apologize for being rude. If it helps, you grew into it.
Yeah.
Like, he looks normal now.
Listen, he looks great. I'm not saying he doesn't look great. He also does not look normal now. He looks like not the dad on that 70s show, but the other dad. The guy with the like fro-ish thing. I don't know who that is.
Had the hot wife in the appliance store or whatever.
Yeah, it was his, like the girlfriend's dad or something. Yeah,
Laura Prepon's dad.
All right, Mr. Prepon. Apparently we got
Mr. Prepon. I don't know her name in the show. But
so I went to YouTube, Garrett, for more comments.
There's more?
For more comments, Garrett. And these get weird. User-IC2XJ6HF8K 4 years ago. I was born in Soviet Union, city of Leningrad, 1968. Even in my pioneer childhood, we heard this hit.
Pioneer childhood. What an adorable translation.
Happy villaging 11 months ago. My uncle sent this to me this morning. He said the first time he heard this song, he was in Vietnam. I'm sure memories came flooding back for him. Catchy tune for an era gone by. It's a man that doesn't know what happened in Vietnam.
Better times.
Yep,
Better times.
Lame Zora, 6 years ago. 47 years ago, I met my husband to this song. It's a happy song, guys. And greetings from Russia.
What's the deal with Russia?
I don't know. Nancy Stowell 4877 2 months ago. I remember this. First time I heard it, I was riding in a boat on a lake in Texas with the only man I ever loved. To this day, it makes me cry.
What? What happened to that man?
I think they just broke up and she's been sad ever since.
Oh, God. Maybe she had to get a new identity after the incident that night.
Perhaps.
She still loved him, Tim, but he wasn't going to stop. He just kept hitting her, and so she ran out of that house and set fire to it.
Come on.
And left and got a new identity.
Last one, moving on from that. JLW07 from 4 years ago. As the daughter of a poor daddy, this makes me glare suspiciously.
I'm sorry, we want to run that one back? What the fuck does that mean?
Well, Garrett, she's a female. She has a poor daddy, and so she is afraid of what Mungo Jerry's implying.
I get that she's a woman, and I get that she has a poor daddy. But how does that make her suspicious of Mungo Jerry's song?
Because of what he said about the poor daddies and what he would do to their daughters.
I see.
Do you? It doesn't seem like you say.
I don't. Because it was going to happen to the girls, not the daddies.
Right, and
if he was a rich daddy.
No, she is the daughter of the daddy, so it's going to happen to her.
I see. She's going to get mungoed.
Right.
I got there. Gross. Great stuff, Tim. Who's this for?
Everyone, apparently.
Everyone.
Garrett, this is for those with rich daddies, those with poor daddies, those with no daddies at all.
Anyone who can hear or feel vibrations.
Yes. I would like to know what the deaf think of this song. We should have a segment where we have a deaf listener, or feeling, you know.
We should get a deaf intern. I'm sure we have a deaf listener. Write in, heypodmail@gmail.com. This feels borderline on poor taste, but they could read the transcript. Lord
yes,
knows
but they
I do.
wouldn't have heard the music, so what would they be getting
They
out
felt
of
it.
All right.
Deaf listeners, write in, heypodmail@gmail.com. How do you listen to music?
I don't think we're going to hear from them.
I think you'll be surprised.
I think we'll hear from a lot of people pretending to be deaf listeners, if that's what you're saying.
That's almost as good, and it is. Great. Final thoughts. Anything to say you haven't said?
Nope. I've said a lot of things about this, man. I would just like to say, I do have one final thought. Mungo Jerry, this has been rude. We really like you. And we really like your song. I have not heard anything else that you've ever done, as to my knowledge. But I'm happy for your success. I'm glad that you still love doing this. I'm glad you got out of that hair salon or whatever. And I'm kind of sad that you didn't, solve time or something. But I like your music. I think you're great.
Yeah, I second it. That's right. This is a rare in-show apology. If we in any way offended you, Mungo, we apologize.
If you'd like to come on this show and do some sort of interview, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
Garrett will not give me any of your contact information. We have a hard firewall now where I cannot access it.
Whole policies and procedures in place.
I had a series of mirrors so that I could see what he was doing on his computer so that I could get it. He took them down.
I mean, I was suspicious of the mirrors to begin with.
He was. They were off-putting. I can admit that now.
Terrible approach. Anyway, final thoughts out of the way. Let's finally say it. Tim, do you hate this?
Of course not, Garrett. But I will say this. I will never again not be thinking of this song at least a little. And I do kind of hate this. My solution to this, I tried this because, this went on for 2 weeks. At the end of the first week, when I was finished with my notes, I purchased this on vinyl, and then I ate that vinyl to see if I could control my mind, kind of Red Dragon style.
Sure,
and
yeah.
I mean, my tummy hurts, but I'm still thinking about this song.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see both of those. I'm sad to hear that didn't work, because I would, had you been successful, I'd have chips and salsa that bad boy down.
God damn it. I should have said I was successful. Garrett, do you hate this song?
No, of course not. I'm not a monster. I'll even still listen to it. And I've conservatively, Tim, I have listened to this song like 50 times in the last 2 weeks. Easily. Not to mention, as you said, it will always be playing a little bit for me.
Yep.
Anyway, good stuff though. Listeners, you're welcome. That brings us to listener mail. You want to go first or shall I?
I think obviously I should. Right? I've contributed more to this point. I should probably take this first.
Don't appreciate anything you're saying or agree with it because I'm so incredibly gracious. I'll let you go first.
Well, thank you, Garrett. I appreciate your grace. Yes. This is from Luke. He's titled his email, Ant Farm. What's up, Tam and Garp? I hope you are both doing well. Against all my better judgment and Tim's insistence to hit stop, I am currently listening to your Alien Ant Farm episode. Shockingly, they do have other songs. Even more shockingly, I know a lot of them. And even shockingliest, the most, I've actually seen them in concert. And it was exactly how you described the album at the top of your show. Meh. It wasn't bad, but it was very forgettable. For as goofy as the band name is, and as wacky as the guys in the band try to present themselves, the music is just kinda meh. It should be wackier, zanier, and ant farmier, but it's just not great. Now, when I say they should be wackier and zanier, I mean musically. Not in a, hey, if you're a fan of my band, you should touch my crotch kind of way. But apparently that was what their lead singer thought would be the best course of action. Then he provides a link for that story. If you brought this up during the episode, I do apologize, but Tim made a lot of solid points at the beginning, and I've already turned the episode off. I believe we did mention that, unless you edited it out. Sometimes Garrett edits my more damning accusations out to avoid getting our LLC sued. Any Hoozleby, keep up the slightly above average work. And Garrett, just a heads up, I'm still coming for that Lacostier position. Once in power, my first order of business will be to send Gino on a mission to track down the West Cabinet Strangler, capture him, and in return strangle them live during a recording of Why I Hate This Album episode. The streaming numbers will be through the roof. Find the feed. Doodles.
Well, he won't have to go far.
Weird at the end. I'm sorry, what?
Wow, that guy's crazy as shit. That's great. Good email.
Yeah,
Good
well
email.
done, Luke. Your email's weird.
Boy, I'd be disappointed to be at a concert and or festival and be like, oh, who's up next? Alien Ant Farm. Oh.
I bet they're going to
Another
do that
stage.
goddamn... Ugh. Garrett, do you have any emails, or shall I read a second? Because I got a second.
No. I have two myself, you butthole. I'll let you pick which one, though, based on title alone.
Okay.
One is called Keep an Eye on Gino.
Okay.
The other is titled, I feel like you're going to pick this one. The other is titled, I'm a Truck with Two Gas Tanks.
You know what? I want you to read them both. Go for it.
All right. I'll read them in the order I got them. So, first one is from Steve. It says, keep an eye on Gino. Steve begins. Good morning and a glorious golden dawn.
I like it already.
As always, great episode on Abracadabra. This is one odd song that I had never listened to as anything other than classic rock station background noise. However, I think all the talk of black magic and the occult may have jarred loose a memory from Gino's youth. I received a letter from Gino. Letter is actually not an accurate way to describe it. Maybe communication is more the word, since it was a tiny scroll delivered via carrier pigeon. Interesting. Gino has curiously left the studio.
He does have a lot of pigeons around him usually.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's a birdman. Email continues. It seems that Gino is sending out his pigeons to recruit members to the School of Fascist Mysticism.
I did know about that part.
Wait, you knew about that?
Well, I'm familiar with fascist mysticism, yes.
That does sound like something you'd know about. Email continues. Thankfully, Gino will not be mastering the dark arts, as it seems that his quote-unquote school was just an old propaganda machine made to get the Italians to worship Mussolini as a godhead.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Now I understand why you let it fly. I opted not to report this project of his to the authorities because I'm not sure in this day and age if it would hinder or help his cause. Good call. Don't want to attract like funding or something from the government. They're into some wacky stuff these days.
Yeah.
I will leave it to you gentlemen to remove his stationery and enforce a stricter regimen of push-ups or whatever punishment you see fit. I trust your judgment. As musical suggestions, I would say that you could stick with the occult theme and do the album Abracadabra by Dimmu Borgir. I don't think I want to do that. I don't expect you to have heard of it, but Dimmu Borgir is a staple of the black metal community and thusly has quite the cult following. I'm sure I'm not saying it correctly. I apologize. Dimmu Borgir. Since there has been an amount of talk of the Smith family as of late, I would also recommend the rabbit hole of the Smiths. There is, of course, the terrible and once popular song Whip My Hair by Willow Smith. No. Or you could dig deeper into the recesses of the Smith family music and cover any of the songs or albums by the band Wicked Wisdom.
We do need to do that.
That is, in fact, the new metal band that Jada Pinkett Smith used to sing for It Was Bad. So incredibly bad. We have put that off for a really long time, mostly because who in the world has heard that before? Also, like, it unequivocally sounds terrible.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in a hopper right now.
Anyway, email continues. Good luck getting Gino back in line, and until the next time, may the Lord bless your endeavors, Steve. Pretty good email, Steve.
And Steve, let me assure you, the Lord is blessing our endeavors hard.
I don't know, it doesn't sound like you're winning in that whole pimp war.
Not losing as bad as I could be, Garrett. I've seen what happens when you lose to Pimp Casso. It is Life-altering, I think is the word for it.
I mean, yeah, becoming a streetwalker is certainly a change of pace for most of us.
Most.
Do you still want me to read the second email?
Yes, I do.
All right. John has written us an email entitled, I'm a truck with 2 gas tanks. Why? Hello, boys. Givers. That's what it says. A take on Ska Giver. It's boys givers.
Yes,
Jealous of blood. Jealous of blood.
We should. I want him to make a new movie.
They're all so bad, though.
No, I know, but I will eschew this format immediately for weeks, and we can just do his movies.
God damn it. All right, let's get into this thing.
Should we just dig into the back catalog?
Yeah, I mean, we can, if you want to. We can just start peppering the audience with Zack Snyder movies. I'm totally okay with that.
I'm torn.
Email continues. As a truck with 2 gas tanks, I just have to say, Timberly, you are way out of fucking line with your more than hot take on the Muppets. Oh, nice. The word national treasures isn't grand enough to encompass their delightful greatness. As much as this angers me, that's not why I'm here.
Let me just respond to that a little bit right now. I just don't care for him. Don't get it, don't want it.
Unfortunately, you're not alone. We got a lot of Muppet hate.
Listen, if you did not get it when you were a child, there's no reason to go back to it now.
Oh, absolutely not. I can't say that you're ever going to enjoy it if you didn't have it as a child. As someone who, in fact, I go one step further. I become divisive within the Muppet community because I grew up on old school Muppets, none of the fairly modern 90s, 2000s stuff. And that shit's garbage. Their voices are wrong. Fuck that. But that'll get me in trouble probably with this guy. Anyway, as this dude writes, he said, I think it was John. John says, blah, 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 blah. As much as this angers me, that's not why I'm here, but I will circle back. I'm here to talk Rebel Moon. Yes. Excellent. I swore I'd never watch another Snyder film after watching his Justice League cut. Okay, honestly, let's take a small detour here. As someone who's seen every movie that my man has ever made, unfortunately, I thought his version of Justice League, the blown out version, wasn't horrible.
It was significantly better than the previous version.
It's just not a movie. He doesn't know how to make a movie.
No.
It was like a superhero telenovela.
Yes. His characterization, though, it's you remember when Tim Burton apparently bragged to Kevin Smith that he'd never read the comic books?
Right.
Yeah, double for that guy. He's seen the comic books. He's seen all of the panels, but he's never actually read them.
Yeah, he's not much for words.
Yes, or characterization or anything other than cool shit.
In slow-mo.
Well, right.
Email continues. I swore I'd never watch another Zack Snyder film after watching his Justice League cut. This oath was broken when my girlfriend wanted to watch Army of the Dead, so I yielded. Again, I'll say, that movie, not bad. Yeah. It's a very faithful remake.
Well, it's not a remake, it's the Vegas one, right?
Oh, is that what that one is?
Yeah.
That one's, that one's okay.
Why are they every one of his movies, the crucial point, the plot point that everything circles around is rape or sexual assault of some sort?
It's always sexual assault with that guy.
And he usually comes down on the anti-side, but at some point, you gotta question his fascination with it.
Yeah, it's weird, dude. Okay, now I'm thinking of the right movie. Yeah, I didn't love that. Did you ever watch the other one, the prequel?
I tried.
I think just a heist movie?
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Fair enough. I didn't watch it either.
There's that weird German fella, right?
Yeah, I like him.
I don't care for Germans.
That's not true. Email continues. Honestly, besides the zombie tiger and that possibly robotic zombie, I don't remember a robot zombie. That's amazing. I really don't remember anything about it because it could have been way shorter, and in true Snyder fashion, story was sacrificed at the altar of style.
Yeah.
That added to the fact that Snyder Bros might be the worst made me double down on my anti-Snyder stance. But then you magnificent bastards had to go and do 2 episodes on his latest effort, and now I'm conflicted. I started listening to the episode while still steadfast that I wouldn't watch the movie. But you said it yourself, that's insane.
Watch it, you fuck.
God, you're literally spreading sadness like a disease.
I think we should give him one of those A Clockwork Orange eye things and just make him watch it.
Good Lord, his poor little peepers.
And you said your girlfriend's super into Zack Snyder movies, right? That's what it sounded like.
All right, email continues. So I made a final promise. I'll wait for the full cuts, and I'll watch and then compare and contrast to your experiences. At 3+ hours, it's really tough. I haven't finished the first one all the way, but I still haven't seen a single chalice of any kind of liquid, let alone blood. Fuck, this is terrible.
It never shows up. You probably know that by now. We should have responded to this sooner. You better have watched that second one. Write in, tell us more.
Email continues, but it did get me thinking. There's a popular hypothetical meme that asks you to take a movie, replace the entire cast save for one with Muppets, and then cast the rest with specific Muppet characters. I won't go into my entire cast, but I think you have to keep Ed Skrein. Yeah, no, he's the heart of the film. Yeah. I'd love to hear your specific castings. We're not going to do that. And I'd also like to know if you've subjected yourselves to the director's cut yet. Yeah, Tim has.
Did you not?
Thanks for your time. I did the first one.
Oh, somebody owes me a second Zack Snyder film tonight before we hit 1998's Godzilla.
God damn it. Sincerely, a truckload to gas tanks. P.S. You can switch gas tanks whenever you like. Silly geese.
Oh, now I understand what that's a reference to.
Right. Great email. Really long stuff. We're not going to do the Muppet thing first, mostly because Tim doesn't even know any. It'd be impossible to do. But great email. I could do it. I might do it online, probably not. But anyway, let's see. What else was in there? I thought there was one other thing to address. No, I guess not. God, watch that movie. Let us know. How was it? HeyPodmail@gmail.com. Did you enjoy part 2? Oh, I know what it was. I read recently somebody posted a comment on YouTube about one of our Snyder episodes, and apparently I said, like, it was before the second one came out. Maybe. And I was like, oh, they should like trap a god on a spaceship and force it to power the ship or something. Apparently that's the Sandman. I've not seen or read the Sandman. And I'm not sure if their comment was saying like, stop stealing from the Sandman. I've never seen it. I don't know what it is. Also, what I was describing was a joke.
Yeah, and that was what Zack Snyder used.
Oh, well, in which case he has copied Sandman.
Yeah, I assume that they were probably insulting Zack Snyder.
Oh, well, they called me out. They're like, Garrett implies that... so, I don't know. In any event, listeners write in, what's Sandman about? It sounds dumb. I'm curious.
Can we get a Zack Snyder cut of Sandman? Can he
there we go.
Adapt it? If I was a crazy billionaire, I would just buy up beloved properties and just earmark them exclusively for him. Like nobody else, no one will ever make this. I bought it up in perpetuity. The only way this gets made is if Zack Snyder makes it. Fuck you.
Even get the stuff that has like contracts in place to keep it untouchable today, like Back to the Future.
Oh yeah.
Just let him ruin Zemeckis' classic.
It either won't happen or it will happen with Zack Snyder. You want to see Dune? Yeah, Zack Snyder.
Okay, hold on. So no other movies can be made?
Well, no, listen, I don't have infinite wealth in this scenario. I'm just a crazy billionaire who is buying up specifically beloved properties, right?
I see.
Going through science fiction and, what hasn't been made and what would people really hate.
I mean, James Bond.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Mission Impossible.
Nah.
The entire Marvel Universe.
Nah. Honestly, he couldn't do worse with the Marvel Universe at this point.
Yeah, that's
terrible.
True. It's pretty embarrassing.
It would at least be more entertaining.
To you.
Terrible ideas. They're just so
Bond
generic.
Would really piss people off.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
Oh, God.
Although those are pretty bad, too.
It just hinges around whether or not that T-Rex is going to rape. Jesus Christ.
That brings us to music news of the weird, Tim. Why don't you kick us off?
Of course I will, Garrett. And before I do, because you're probably not going to put it in, music news of the weird. That's my cover of Coltrane McQuarrie, almost a certainly made-up names jingle.
I like yours better.
In true music news of the weird this week, Garrett, Bush's Gavin Rossdale is a sad, lonely man. After failed romances with Gwendolyn Stefani, Pearl Lowe, Peter Robinson, a.k.a. Marilyn, allegedly, and Courtney Love, he is left with nobody to spend the holidays with. Well, his kids are there, but there's nobody he spends the holidays with that he wants to hang out with.
That he can bang.
Yes. And that's the sad news, Garrett, but what makes it weird news is that since he divorced Gwendolyn, Jack McBrayer, who you probably know best as Kenneth on 30 Rock, allegedly, apparently, spends all of his holidays with Gav Gav on Jesse Tyler Ferguson's podcast, which has more goddamn listeners than we do. Not you. You're doing the right thing. You're listening to this. The rest of you fucks. Anyway, Gav said, since I've got divorced and was raising the kids on my own, he's come to every Christmas and Thanksgiving that I do with my kids. He comes to them. And so we just had him for Christmas. We had him for Thanksgiving. And the last Thanksgiving, he sent in, and I posted it on my Instagram a little while ago, but he sent me an invoice, which apparently was for his presents. But Garrett, they're buds. What? They're buds. And apparently Jack takes time out of his life every holiday to hang out with Gavin so that Gavin won't kill himself, which I assumed he was gonna. A role that I hope I fill in your life.
Wow, no. You are the source of my frustrations. Does Jack McBrayer have a family?
No,
I like the idea that he's leaving his family to go hang out with Gavin Rosdale.
Yeah.
I really like Bush. When Gavin calls, you go.
But here's the thing. I don't think Gavin's calling.
Yeah, it's a welfare check.
Yes, probably. Probably. And it's a welfare check that Gavin hasn't figured out yet. So he's just like, listen to this crazy bastard.
That's so weird. How did they meet?
I don't know. Garrett, I have no answers for you.
I know you don't. These are all hypotheticals. I'm just trying to wrap my head around this. So Bush's Gavin Rosdale, for the last at least decade, has spent most major holidays with his children and Jack McBrayer.
Yes.
I mean, cool, but why?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is anyone else there?
As far as I can tell, no.
That's weird.
I would like it if, he wasn't his usual gregarious self, if it was just a very solemn dinner, they didn't have anything in common, so they didn't speak to one another. He's just there. He has to be there.
Maybe Gavin's the only one he can be himself around. He just finally lets all the artifice down, and he's just like, oh, God, fucking hate everybody. It just had to be with somebody that no one else he knows would ever come in contact with.
Yes. Yeah, that no one would ever expect.
Gavin Rosdale, write in, hatepodmail@gmail.com. More details. I'm not judging. I'm just legitimately curious.
Anyway, Garrett, you got some weird news?
Sure do. I got some truly weird news. Let's kick things off with friend of the show and makeup eater, Jessica Simpson.
I have this too. Goodness.
She revealed on Instagram last Friday, as of this recording, that she sips on a very special drink to ensure that she has just the most tip-top vocal cords in the business. And that drink, apparently, includes snake sperm.
Please, Garrett. Snake jizz.
Excuse me. Snake jizz. Upon the recommendation of her vocal coach. Jessica's inside tip comes after she released her first record in 15 years, an EP no one is sure to hear, entitled Nashville Canyon, Part 1.
There will be no Part 2. Yeah, so she said, she was drinking from a bottle of darkly colored mystery liquid, and she said that her vocal coach advised her to drink, quote-unquote, Chinese herbs, her words, and after Googling it, she learned that one of the ingredients was, in fact, snake jizz.
How do you harvest snake jizz?
I don't know.
I legitimately broke Tim's brain for a second there, listener. That was pretty neat. They're jaying off some snakes.
Because here's the thing. Listen, they obviously don't have limbs. That's kind of their whole deal.
They gotta have wieners.
Is there a snake wiener? I mean...
I don't want to look.
I do.
I mean, I've never noticed one. Boy, what if they just had huge hogs that they dragged around? That'd be so disturbing.
It's the tail. No, that can't be.
No, that can't be. Although recently I did read that snakes have clitorises. Unrelated. Completely unrelated.
Yeah, just in your clitoris reading.
It was a science magazine. It actually was. This is a 100% true story. Not kidding. I was reading some random science thingy. Apparently snakes have at least 2 clitorises. Clitori.
But okay, so that implies they've got a snake penis, they have snake testicles, and there's a snake vagina, and somehow...
Well, yeah.
I mean, because when you see... Listen, I've watched snakes make love before. They just sort of curl into a ball, and
You knew they had to be doing something.
Well, sure. Of course, but...
Just never pictured a snake wiener in the middle of that bowl.
No.
I mean, we're getting real far afield. The point is somebody's jerking those snakes off.
Yeah.
Or... And this doesn't seem likely. I'm not saying this is what's happening. Somebody's developed snake pornography and they're jerking off themselves. They have no legs. They have no arms. How would they do that? That's ridiculous.
Well, with the tail, I assume,
Oh, yeah. It is prehensile. You could just... Listeners, write in, heypodmail@gmail.com. Do animals masturbate? Well, of course animals masturbate.
Honestly,
I've seen a masturbating
do snakes have tails? Because they're just tail. What is a snake? Listeners, write in.
Guys, we are through the looking glass. Tim, what other news do you have that might alter our entire view of society going forward?
This actually might do it. Garrett, in Chet Hanks news.
That was my next story.
Chet Hanks is following the trends. He is pivoting from the hip-hoppery game to country music, and he is stealing some valor to get there. He has teamed up with Drew Arthur for the cowboy-themed Something Out West, which released the song Leaving Hollywood in February and recently released You Better Run, which is, you guessed it, a reference to Forrest Gump. The music video features Chet in a Forrest Gump suit. He's on the park bench. He's talking to people. There's a shrimping boat. He runs across America. And then, god damn it, Garrett, Thomas Wayne Hanks shows up to validate this whole thing. He does seem to be exasperated and disgusted by the whole thing. And listen, I was initially disappointed in Tom just for being there, for even accepting that this was real. But upon reflection, listen, he's just a great father. No matter what Chet said, with no strong male role models. Fucking anyway, but Tom is just a great father. He is supportive of his son despite what his son is. And to be honest, that makes me admire Tom even more. And
I went on a very similar journey.
Yeah. And I mean, Chet at the end, he gets a handshake. And what really made me think, listen, this guy's, he hates this, but he's got to be there for his son, is the hug. Did you watch the hug at the end?
There's no love in that hug.
Listen, we've all hugged it. Well, you haven't. Okay. The non-Garrett people have hugged their fathers. It is never this half-hearted side hug thing. Right. So, Chet, my heart goes out to you, I guess. Tom, you're a great man.
Yeah, he's in there gritting his teeth, doing everything he can to support his son. Despite him his very existence just flies in the face of everything that is T. Hanks.
Yeah.
God, I feel like this was a negotiation. If Chet would stop with the patois, he's like, all right, I'll be in it. I'll be in the goddamn video. You have to stop with the accent.
You're doing Forrest Gump. I swear to God, if the next one is Philadelphia themed, I will.
All right, but I'm going to play you and you're Denzel Washington. You're out of the will, Chet. You're out of the will.
Jesus Christ. Garrett, do you have additional news?
Oh, do I ever. Tim, did you see that Lady Gaga is getting sued?
I did not.
Okay, well, she's getting sued, and I think rightly so. Obviously, she has a very high-priced lawyer that is already out there defending Gaga and what she is being accused of, and frankly, she has nothing to do with this lawsuit. Let me explain. The company Lost International is suing Lady Gaga for trademark infringement for her new album, Mayhem. They claim they own the rights to the term as used in the surf company's distinctive logo, and that Lady Gaga's use is basically identical. And let me pause right here to say, it is. Full stop. It is identical. Someone has definitely stolen this.
What aspect?
The logo.
Okay.
Like they took the font and they put it on the shirt in a small arcing fashion identical to the currently existing and for the last 20 years Mayhem sweatshirts.
That makes sense. But like, again, you can't, because my initial
complaint, not the word mayhem.
Sure. Because
fuck off.
Listen, I've seen you just lob grenades and shout mayhem.
I was going to say, if anybody owns the trademark to Mayhem, it's this guy.
Yeah, and you don't, to be clear. Listener, feel free to use the word mayhem.
Yeah, I just embody it. Personification. I invite you, listener, give it a Google yourself, compare the two, but I did a lot of extensive research, and here's the test. If you were to take the Lady Gaga Mayhem logo and the Lost International Mayhem logo and 25 other logos and say, hey, 10-year-old child, which two look identical? They would nail it every time. It's that obvious. Listen, I'm not here to besmirch Miss Gaga or say she's done a single thing wrong. This is merely my opinion, and she likely had nothing to do with it whatsoever aside from signing off on it, and she knows nothing about this other surf company. That's fair. But the dude who owns it was like, look, it's nothing personal, but like, we're a small company, and when you have a Lady Gaga tour and every single stadium she sells, conservatively 1,000 to 5,000 Mayhem shirts, like, suddenly we're not selling so many Mayhem shirts anymore. which is pretty fair.
Yeah.
Also, it looks fucking identical. It's ridiculous. But of course, her lawyer came out and said, this is nothing more than an opportunistic and meritless abuse of the legal system. So I'm sure that guy's super fun at parties. Tim, what other news do you have?
Well, Garrett, in my last story, in Hall Pass news this week, Conor McGregor may love Limp Bizkit, but Limp Bizkit fans do not necessarily love Conor McGregor. Connie, as Garrett calls him, let everybody know that he would be at the Dublin show telling Instagram, who's going to @Limp Bizkit in Ireland tomorrow? I'll be banging the centre of the mosh pit if anyone's looking for their jaw broke and their teeth sent. Now, Connie, Garrett's words, not mine. If you're listening, do not do that. You're a dangerous person to be around in any environment. Don't intentionally attack people in a mosh pit, you fucking lunatic. But Garrett, FED mentioned that Connie, as you call him, might be in attendance twice, and he was booed twice, because fuck that guy, in Garrett's words, not mine, allegedly.
What? Who am I fucking?
No. Fuck Conor McGregor. He's a terrible person.
No, fuck that guy.
Right, yes. Similar thing happened to Drake at a show in Toronto, which is pretty funny, and equally deserved.
And the vice president.
Limp Bizkit?
No, I guess not. I mean,
that would be
adds
amazing.
up.
That fucking Diet Mountain Dew drinking son of a bitch.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, you do. Garrett, do you have any other news about people who love Limp Bizkit? Or
no, but I do have news about a guy who went way off the rails, and it cost him.
All right.
This is a weird story. So, Dan Bernstein, the midday show co-host on 670 The Score, got into a bit of a social media beef recently with a random user on Twitter, and has since been fired. That got me to wondering, what the fuck did this guy say that he got fired for arguing with a commenter on Twitter? And then I got more curious when it was not easily available. I was like, whoa.
Legally protected information.
What did this guy say? So, I found it. Here is the exchange. It is fascinating. So, it begins with Dan posting a photo with him posing with a fish he's recently caught. And one person comments, they say, wow, man, what a fatty. You gonna eat that? I was surprised to recently learn how good fresh pike tasted. To which Dan Bernstein replies, walleye is amazing. Basically trying to gently say, like, actually, dude, it's walleye. Then another man pipes in. That isn't walleye. That's a female northern pike that was getting ready to spawn, but instead Dan killed it and seems proud of it. Oh boy. Dan replies, what the entire fuck is wrong with you?
Escalated. I like it.
It was released successfully. Took off like a torpedo. Go fuck yourself.
That
Man
seems
replies.
reasonable. Okay.
With that dried blood on the gills? Sure it did, Dan. Liar. This guy's awesome. Dan replies, like a shot, I never respond to trolls, but questioning my sportsmanship and conservation awareness sets me off. Wanna fight? I'm a bad enemy, fucker.
Wanna fight. I like it.
Yeah, this is an adult man who's worked at this radio station for like 26 years. The guy replies, you are a 5'7", 165-pound fat boy. You really worry me as a bad enemy? By the way, your language continues to give you away as a very base juvenile person. Dan replies, where are you at? I have your address and phone number. Want it all public? Do I worry you yet? What? I know where you live, is what Dan just said.
Yeah.
Greg replies, not one bit. I am very transparent on where I live. And this is probably the part that if Dan hadn't lost his job yet, this is what did it. Dan replies, want your kids involved? What?
You go, Dan.
It's, God, amazing.
I mean, listen, I've argued with trolls online quite a bit.
Sure.
I've argued with our listeners. And in Dan's defense, every single time it has eventually led to me saying, I'll kill your children. So I get it, Dan. I get it.
Ugh, God. It's so crazy. I assume he was drinking.
Probably.
Like, this is like a normal human being who has had like a very stable job on TV or on radio for a very long time. Like, he's not a psycho. I mean, he's clearly a psychopath. That's so crazy. God, it's so... And about fishing.
Yeah.
Like, it's both completely legitimate this man was fired, and also it's about fishing. That brings us to my least favorite part of the show, where we find out what album we're going to be listening to for another... God, it's probably going to be like 2 weeks straight this time, because you're off to... Where are you off to? Vienna?
I'm going to Austria, yes. I have to...
Fix a couple of things.
Right. There we go. There we go. Some wrongs have been committed, and...
You're going to write them.
Yeah, in a way, yes.
Would you say it's a spite trip or more of a vengeance trip?
Ooh, what a good question you ask.
You should be ready. They might ask at the customs.
Vengeance.
What brings you to Austria? Vengeance.
Or, you know what, to steal a page out of Lady Gaga's book, mayhem.
Ooh, coming this spring, Tim's bringing mayhem to Austria.
Ooh.
I expect a lot of very strange mayhem-inspired photos from you.
Possibly. I'm gonna eat a lot of pretzels.
While you are away, what will be the soundtrack to your trip?
Let me roll the ballo thingy.
Selectomatic.
Garrett, it dropped 2 balls.
What?
It dropped 2 balls. I don't know what to tell you.
Shouldn't do that.
Garrett, the balls, the first one says, Playboy Cardi, I am music. This is... I know. This was actually recommended very recently by Alyssa Sutton. I got this Instagram thing. She is, congratulations, Mrs. Sutton, the recently married Mrs. Sutton. She sent us an Instagram DM about this godforsaken 30-track album from her wedding party. So congratulations, and Gino says he's glad your priorities are in order. The other ball says Wicked Wisdom, and then in parentheses has the Jada Pinkett Smith.
No, wait, what does that mean?
So I think, Garrett, we have our choice. We don't need to pick right now, but we have a choice between either a 30-song Playboy Cardi album, again, recommended by Alyssa. So if we don't do that, you still got your shout-out, or the Jada Pinkett Smith thing.
I feel like this is a Kobayashi Maru situation. I don't appreciate it.
I'm just saying that's what the ball hopper spit out.
Pick one. What are we doing?
I don't know.
That's not an option. I'll pick one then.
Everyone will find out when we talk about it next week.
Anyway, that's going to do it for this week. As always, rate, review, subscribe, all that stuff. Keep leaving your comments. Keep sending us these great emails, hatepodmail@gmail.com. HatePod.com is the website where you can get every episode we've ever done in every format ever. We got Instagram, that's HatePod, Twitter's Album HatePod, although, man, I think I'm just going to delete it. I really just hate everything associated with that dude. What else is there? There's subreddits, there's Discord servers. Yeah, we're on the internet. Just Google it. It's not that hard to find. Why I hate this album. You got this far. Come find us. Find the feed, even. But for this week, next week, and a little bit of last, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy Richardson, and today's episode has been brought to you by my newest business venture, GHHGTM. That's Garrett Harvey's Hand Grenades, the name you can trust if you need to kill absolutely everything in a single confined space for whatever reason. We do not judge. These are available everywhere hand grenades are sold on the dark web.
They're technically novelty hand grenades.
After dark web.
They're not a grenade unless you pull the pin. Otherwise, they're completely inert.
I've seen a man beaten with a grenade. It was a...
They are heavier than you'd think.
They're very heavy. Very heavy.
This episode ended darkly.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Gary.